Right, Brian, great to see you today.
Yeah, and you, Matt?
Looking forward to experiencing what a day in the life of Brian Fogarty involves.
Yeah, and, it's a long time coming.
Yeah, it has indeed. Yeah, it's been held up by COVID.
Aye.
So how's that affected you? How's it affected you? Your training, your coaching?
Tough, yeah, really tough. But you adapt. I've adapted. It's what you have to do in life, isn't it? When things go wrong and things don't go quite to plan. So obviously in the early stages there was still hope that some of my key events would happen. Lanzarote in May was my first one, Ironman. And it would have gone to trying to retain my title at Bolton in July. So up until even in March, they were still hoping to go ahead when lockdown happened. So I was still keeping the focus. Obviously I couldn't swim, but I could still bike and run. So it was still, and then eventually as they've kept dropping off, I've had ups and downs as anyone does, but I've kept consistent. I've been lucky enough to still train a lot indoors, which I do anyway, because of time management. It's something I've always been big on, because it's key for me, balancing everything as I do, my work, family, coaching, all this goes on now. I've upped my biking now, and just more recently, as some events have come back on in terms of cycling, specifically time trials, I thought, right, well, let's just focus on that and just see how we go. Just being a cyclist for a couple of months, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to push them levels on even more. I've had some good experiences. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I've done 6 months of pure biking, but by taking my hours from the swimming, put that into my cycling, and more recently I've really knocked my running back, as I've decided to commit to a couple of specific cycling events, which I did recently. I did a national 12-hour recently, which is anyone, it's a huge event, and I just wanted to test myself, and I actually come runner-up in that, which was a bit of a shock.
But no, you were leading for a long time as well, weren't you? There?
I was leading for sort of 11 a bit hours. I had a bit of an issue later on, and unfortunately I got caught and passed by a guy that's been cleaning up all year. So it was not ashamed to losing to him. I suppose in the end maybe the best man won, but yeah, I took a lot from it, because it's a tough event, and it's just finding ways to help me develop, keep developing. I went through some deep, dark places that day. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done, to be honest.
Right.
So I know it's all in there, and it's all going to set me in good stead for next year. And
do you think this was a step you wouldn't have taken if you hadn't have lockdown hadn't affected the training?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I needed to take something away this year to move into future years, for character building, physical, and I know I did from that, and I'm really pleased I did it.
Your sponsors helped you massively.
Yeah. I mean, I'm forever grateful to them, especially this year, with what we've had going on with the economy, how things have gone. Obviously, Fogarty's my own business, and ID Right, fantastic, true to the, really supported me as they promised they would. And Summit Physio, they've been with me a long time. They always back me. I'm forever grateful for that. But it's just nice to see that support when through tough times, you really realise the people that are fully behind you.
Yeah, and has that helped with your balancing and juggling everything around? Does that make a difference?
It does, yeah, because it's tough. It's tough balancing things. I've got a lot to balance, financially. You don't get a great deal of money out of being an amateur Ironman athlete. So I balance that with my coaching now. Tri Central are very good with that. We've developed a really good team there and a good setup.
You seem to have a good rhythm going with your family, work, and your passion as well. So it's all
But make no mistake, it is hard. I don't deny it. There's times it does get very tough. People might look at it and think, "Oh, I find it easy." I don't find it easy at all. There's a lot of ups and downs, but you've just got to keep positive, keep striving, and keep adapting. I think is key especially through this period that we've gone through.
On that point, then, take us through your day. So you wake up in the morning. You're Brian Fogarty.
Get up early. I'm a big believer in that. I get up early. I'm always first up. 5 o'clock. Not long thereafter, my alarm will be off. I set about my duties as a dad. I'll sort my child's milk out, have that ready for her when she wakes up, and the dog out, feed the dog, as you do. Get my own stuff set up. I move over to my office where all my training's set up. and just set about my day.
Is it easy now getting up at 5 in the morning?
It is now, yeah. It was. If you'd have said to me when I was younger, I'd be no chance. But I said to anyone that's not comfortable with that initially, just stick with it, because your body does adapt. And now I've never had a kind of a lane. I'm just up and I'm out and I'm getting my job done. And that's how I see my training. I see it as a job. You've got to love it, and sometimes you've got to retrace back to actually, when you do go through a tough time, you get tired, you have to remind yourself why you do it, because I see a lot of people get lost with it a little bit. You know, you have always got to bring it back to realise why you do the sport. You know, we don't do it for the money, we do it because we love it ultimately.
So you got up at 5 in the morning, you fed the dog, you fed the baby.
Yeah.
What's next?
I'll train in the morning, I'll work, and then I'm straight on it, straight after work, and finish off my second session of the day. And pretty much 7 days a week, I'm double sessions every day. I need to do a lot more swimming, I need to do a lot more of a lot of things to keep improving, but what fuels me a lot is the fact I know I've still got more to come in that regard.
Have you always been like this since you were a kid? Has there always been something that you've had to give your all to?
Initially it was football. I left school, I signed full-time for Burnley, did my apprentice there. And the thing with football is it's a team thing, it's a team sport, and I always felt I was never really fair, because I couldn't fully express myself in football, I didn't think. Certainly as I lost confidence, and then I sort of lost a bit of love for my football, set up business, and it became a bit too much of a commitment alongside with my business. So then I took up running, and I felt very individual, ultimately down to me. I'll be as good as I want to be at running. Took up that, got to a good level, joined a good running club, just local, Blackburn areas. Progressed really well to a point. And I always felt that Ironman come into my life, and it was just a bit of a downtime. I was in a bit of a period where I got a little bit lost with the world, and you wouldn't have thought it would be possible until you see people doing it, and then I thought, right, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And literally I just decided to do an Ironman. I didn't know fully what it was going to entail, but being me, I committed to it, and that was it then. I did my first one in Switzerland and just fell in love with it. I thought, right, I'm coming back, I'm going to be better. Within 3 years I was sort of top 10 at UK Ironman. That was it then. I thought, right, I'm fully committing to this.
So that was a goal that you obviously, when you felt that connection to Ironman, you wanted to be number one at Ironman.
Inside me, yeah, I'd say I'll go as far as I can go. But I don't say I set out to win Bolton. I think as I got better, I sort of seen that was coming closer and closer. And then you've got to be realistic and ambitious. There's a line, isn't there? You know, there's a dream, one thing, but it's got to be realistic. You've got to do it in stages. And I think, God, how far can I go now? With a bit of help, a bit more help. You've got to keep pulling, getting out where you can, and not stop. And again, keep coming back to it. This has been a tough time, but you don't stop. No one that's successful stops and gives up. Bit of a cliche, but you only lose when you quit. You know, it's as simple as that. So you just got to keep pushing.
It's really good advice, really. So you set yourself realistic goals.
Yeah, have a realistic goal, but have one that doesn't mean you lose your wife, you lose your child, you lose your... Because I see it, you know, people, you've got to keep things in context. You know, I've got a family that is my priority, and that's always will be my priority. But I've got to be, and I don't think it's being selfish, that's my life as well. I still believe I have a right to pursue my dream, but you've got to do it in a way that keeps everyone happy. That's where I feel like I've got a right good balance. It takes hard work though, it does. It's not always plain sailing.
What's your next goal for yourself to achieve?
I could say I reached that well, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. 2019 I won Ironman UK, which, wow, absolute dream come true. But I won that without even being at my best. I do believe, I'll go out there and say it, I think long term I can win Ironman Lanzarote. I certainly think I can podium at Ironman Lanzarote.
You've said it now on camera.
There's no going back now. You know, I need to improve, make no mistake, and I'm not naive to that, you know, and I know my current level. But I know, given the opportunities, you know, there's a lot more to come. Whether I get the chance, whether they happen or not, well, time will tell. But
you've obviously massively driven by by what you love to do. So that's something that runs in the family, is it? I mean, a lot of people might not know that your cousin's the famous Carl Fogarty. Did he help you? Did he give you, like, what was the relationship there? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was Carl's page boy. I have definitely got from him how focused he was on what he was doing and how driven, ruthlessly driven with Carl. Really, you pick up on that, and he's definitely been an influence on me. Just in terms of like I said, why stop now? You know, Carl won early years, but you know, local races, and he just kept going. He just wanted to win, and stuff Carl did was out of this world. People have no idea what sort of races he won on bikes at certain times. I mean, he had no right to win races, but he had that drive, and it gets you such a long way. He had this goal to be the best, and he just weren't stopping for nothing. And you can't not take inspiration from that when it's in your blood and it's so close to home. And I do think sometimes if he can do it, then I can do it. Why not? You know. So
I think to finally then, if there's one bit of advice you could give yourself, a 10-year-old Brian Fogarty, what would you what would it be?
Follow your dreams. Follow your dreams and don't let anyone doubt. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If I'd have said, when I set off in Ironman, I was going to win UK Ironman, sort of 7 years later, I would have been locked up. But deep down, I thought I could. And I never stopped believing that, and I did.